On RWP Reviews today, we were talking about motors. So, I have these Dragonfly motors. They're 2206 2800 kV motors. Good little motors. They have big windings in them, so the diameter of the winding is very good size. But the problem is with that is that you have more room for oxygen, and therefore you have more magnet spacing lost, in theory. So I also went to these little tiny motors, the 1806 2700 kV. They have kind of the same kind of concept here. One big strand of wire that goes around and makes a magnetic field. But on these Kingkong 2205 2700 kV motors, they have finer wire, which is really good because you have less space, therefore you have a stronger magnetic field. But there's one big negative to this. This motor is cheap, which means they've cheapened it a little bit. So the magnet spacing on some of these magnets inside are not exactly spaced. I mean, the exact distance they need to be. One might be a little tighter than the other. So there's the little bit of flaws with this motor. But besides that, for the money, $9.69 for a motor with a hollow shaft on it, and it feels pretty good. The bearings feel pretty good. Besides that magnet spacing, and they have a little bit short wires here, but most of the time I just cut and solder it directly to the ESC anyways. Unless you're using a 4-in-1, then you're going to have to extend these wires. But let's see how it does on the thrust stand, and we'll go from there. Okay, so that was fun. Let's weigh this motor. So 30 grams for this motor. It's not a bad little motor for the money, I guess, besides the magnet spacing. And the first test was done with a gem fan 4x45, and that weighed 4 grams. We should be weighing more props, shouldn't we? And then I did the second test with a 4x4 tri-blade, 3 grams. I was amazed that the tri-blade actually produced more grams of thrust with less amperage than the biblade. The biblade definitely used more amperage and less grams of thrust. But I mean, you do have more meat here. But this used more amps to accomplish less grams of thrust. So which blade I'm going to run? Probably the tri-blade a lot. And the meter read, I read real quickly, about 750 on the biblade and 888 grams of thrust on the tri. So that's not bad for this little motor. And it's a pretty good little motor for the money, I guess. So it seems to do its well in its realm for the money. It has good spacing for the between the stator and the magnet, but not so much between each magnet. So they need to fix that. That's not that much of an issue though for some of these that are well balanced. They did balance them. I can see the goop in there for counterweight, but besides that, not a bad little motor for the money. Anyhow, like, subscribe, and happy flying.